Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Eric,
I'm Ty.
and we are Shantottocast, and we have some very unfortunate news for you.
Yes, and it's more than the fact that our podcast is ending,
Yeah, this is
which it
this is
also
more
is.
catastrophic. This is just
Yes.
uh they man, look, there's a story behind this, okay?
Mm,
So, you know, Ghido, a card we shit on a lot for a long time. We
mhm.
put it in our most useless cards list. We said a lot of nasty things about it.
Mind you,
Um,
that list came out before Opus 12. We should probably point out.
yeah. Um, Little did we know, Ghido was the Susan Boyle of FFTCG.
Susan
Uh,
Boyle.
that lady who everyone said had a terrible voice, and then she went on, I forget which
Oh
talent show on
yeah,
TV, and she had this gorgeous singing voice.
yeah, I forgot about
She was
that.
in her like 50s, and she finally got noticed. Yeah, that's Ghido. Uh, but little did we know, everyone was jealous of Guido's success. So very quickly, they put in the work to plant evidence and frame him and, defame him and just, you know, make it look like he was, make it look like he was the bad guy here. Um, it turns out, really, he was holding for Barreleye because Barreleye already had two strikes. He
Yeah.
gets one more, he goes in for life. So,
So Guido is Gondo.
Yeah, Guido's banned. Um,
Guido is on the ban list. This is what I love about this is a year ago. A year ago, nobody would have seen this coming.
a year ago,
And
this was a meme.
a year ago was Bahamut Brawl.
Yeah.
Like that was I still remember I don't I want to go back and rewatch our worst cards video. But I remember if it was either in personal conversation or if it was in that video, I said if there's ever a card that could take advantage of him tapping and untapping himself infinitely, then Gita will be broken. However, I don't think we'll ever get that card. And then we got Barrel Eye.
Yep.
And it's just kind of funny because like it for the longest I don't want to say for the longest time, but at first it was kind of considered like this meme combo. It was like, oh, haha, did they just break Guido? Is Guido
Mm-hmm.
broken now? Like, what's going on? Like, and a lot of people didn't take it very seriously. Like, was it worth it to run Guido in a Barrel Eye deck? Was it worth it to run Guido in like a Weewa deck? And at first the answer seemed like no. And then and then Barrel Eye Guido kind of take took off.
Yep. Then it happened. Um, yeah, honestly, I mean, Ty, like you said in our Chicago group chat this morning, like we had a really funny game last night.
Mm.
You just machine gunning down my stuff as soon as I played it, and we had some memes, we had some laughs. We got down to what, 5 cards each in our deck.
Somewhere in that realm, yeah.
Um, it really dragged the game out, and I was laughing along the whole time. Ty was playing Weewa, I wasn't, and I was having a
Mm.
blast. I just thought it was funny. Um,
Yeah, yeah, you were playing Scions, and it was just like I played an Urianger just so I could draw a card. I'm like, on draw a card, I'm going to machine gun it down. It's gone.
yep, and
Like,
I thought it was funny. I was laughing, I was chuckling the whole time. You were laughing, we were having a good time. Long game, but I guess that is apparently what makes Guido the culprit and the target for a ban.
yeah.
Um, and so here
Um,
I'm gonna put up on screen the official text from the announcement here, and so we can see here. Guido has been ruled up as a prohibited card in standard composition games. It will not be possible to include even a single example of this card in your deck. A single instance of this card,
mhm,
zero Guido, in your deck for it to be legal in standard. Um, blah blah blah. Neo X death. Blah blah blah. These prohibitions will take effect on Friday, the 26th of March, 2021.
yes.
And this will coincide with the release of Opus 13.
Which may or may not be delayed.
Yeah, so it might be delayed due to COVID.
Mm.
And so rules then for the ban, or reasons for the ban. Sorry. So basically says here that Ghido can be used in combination with Barlai to effectively inflict unlimited damage, which makes it considerably easier to break all of an opponent's forwards than when otherwise using traditional processes that the designers envisioned.
Yeah.
Envisaged? Interesting word.
Envisaged. Yeah, interesting
I assume
wording.
translation error. It happens. Um, and so, even though it is only a combination of two cards, we made the decision to release under the assumption that this combination would not dominate the metagame due to the fact that it requires three elements and that Ghido had been used extremely infrequently. Yeah, that's a word. Infrequently. I would say just not used at all in previous tournaments and was not expected to perform
It,
strongly on its own. Being
it
otherwise what?
it made its way into that one deck, into that one deck that we covered in the in our meta review.
So Ghido wasn't used at all, and he
Correct.
was ineffective against forwards that do not take damage from abilities or forwards that do not take damage lower than their power, etc. However, it did not appear that the combination will become any weaker with Opus 13 or future card releases after that, although it could become stronger still. In addition, there is a chance of a card with even better synchronicity with Ghido than Baralai has been added to the game at a later date, so we came to the conclusion that it was best to prohibit the cards sooner rather than later. Um, and then is there any further? Yeah, apologize for any convenience. Blah blah blah. Effectively, they're saying, well, sorry, every loser and idiot that bought up 40 foil Guidos, suck
Oh
it.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And
so
as one of those losers who bought up a bunch of Ghido, I have to admit I'm not too terribly mad about this. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
yeah. So first off, Ty, I want to hear your like we joked in chat, but like, what are your actual thoughts?
So I'm gonna go on a little tangent. Um, so before this episode, before even a lot of our recent episodes, when Barrel got revealed, we thought about doing an episode trying to calm people down, saying it's not too overpowered, but at the same time we hadn't played with it yet. It was like kind of a thing where we were speculative about it. We were like, it'll probably be good. It won't be too good. It won't be broken. Like we compared it a lot to like Dodaluma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, if you get those three cactars in Dodaluma, you're just machine gunning down a board. Um, however, um, especially when I started testing with it, and when I found out how easy it really was to just throw into Weewa or even to just build around, like it just became a thing of, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
Of just, oh, I can just machine gun down your board. And like the big thing is we don't have that much backup destruction in the game yet. We have some examples of it, but we don't have a lot. Um, so it's kind of the point where um, there's so many real answers to it. At least just to Ghido. Obviously, you could kill the barrel eye, and that's what a lot of people are saying. Even on the Reddit and stuff, people are like, "Well, I don't get why he's banned. You could just kill barrel eye." It's like, well, yeah, you can, but you have to understand, like, they get the board wipe no matter what.
Yeah.
They're going to get that board wipe. Um, and that's the ultimate value in it, is you can't use a forward to get rid of them because it gets machine gun down. Or if you do, you're always taking a loss. Like whenever you get rid of Barrel and Guido, you're going to have to take a loss and you're going to lose your forwards first.
Yep. Unless, of course, you're
Um,
using one of those rare forwards that, reduces damage to 0 or is unable to take damage, etc.
yeah, unless you're using Y'shtola, Cecil, or Larsa, or if you have a Minwu out. But mind you, almost all of those answers are in the same like two colors. Um, and someone pointed out on the Reddit, and they were correct about this. Every color has an answer to it, technically. That's true. And every deck also has access to Emperor, Dark Emperor, which
Mm-hmm.
shuts off Ghido, basically. However, though every answer to it's a little flimsy, and even some of them can get, machine gunned down by Ghido.
Yep.
Um, and I should mention, I've been playing Bear Like Ghido since Opus 12 started. I haven't been playing too much, obviously, because we're in COVID, but I always bring it with me. I've been running test hands with it, and the one thing that always surprises me about it is how easy it is to assemble, and how
Mm-hmm.
even if I lose it, I still have Weewa behind it. Barreleye by himself is a very good card. He's great. He makes, Valifor deal 6k. He makes Pandemonium deal 5k. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot he can do. Um, like this combo was nothing to be like kind of underestimated. And to be honest, while I kind of downplayed it, I'm not too surprised for this ban. Um, I'm not really surprised at all, honestly.
Like, I didn't
I think it
expect it
might
so
be a little
soon.
extreme, but yeah,
Cause so, if I may go forward with my thoughts, if you don't mind.
go for it.
Um, so I mean, yeah. So I'm always that guy that's just like, yeah, you don't need to ban things. Ban is a little heavy-handed. Um, they could have eroded something, but they opted for the nuclear option, and I'm actually not upset about this one. This one
Mhm.
I'm pretty neutral about. Like, I'm not excited. I'm like, yeah, screw Barley Ghido, but I'm also not, sitting here screaming and hollering and crying about my boy Dottaluma. Um, so I mean, yeah, like you said, there are answers that are relatively flimsy and not reliable. Is probably a more appropriate way of looking at it. Because yeah, you have Archer and Wind in the backups. You have Hecatoncheir in Earth that can break a backup. I think you have a couple of other Earth options, but basically everything else relies on being able to remove the Barley in some way, and Barley is easily replaced. I think they certainly underestimated how easy it would be to set up this combo. Um, this is a moment of like strictly lack of R&D on their part, and
Yeah.
that's not an insult. It's just a fact. They overlooked something.
Well, when they mentioned in the article, like, yeah, we
Yeah.
just didn't think it would take off that much. Like, I believe that.
Yeah, I believe that too, but I
Yeah,
mean, I think that's saying something about the fact. I think that's them underestimating the players. Um,
I suppose. Yeah.
because players are always going to find a way to break something. It's just how it goes. Um, every major video game has showed us that. Every competitive video game, um,
Mhm.
even not non-competitive video games have showed us that. Let alone card games and all the stuff that's existed for the last 25-ish years. Um, and so, but what really actually gets me though is we're gonna go down here, and I'm gonna highlight it down at the bottom. Um, there's a chance of a card with better synergy with Baralai than Ghido being added. Well, shit, what could that be? Like, what are they
Yeah.
doing that would not only make Baralai better, and then be like, well, we can't ban Baralai, he's too new. Do we ban Ghido, this card that only got 5 minutes in the spotlight? Yeah, we have to ban the Ghido. Um, what could they possibly be brewing that's gonna break that even worse if it exists still?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it reminds me of when Dottaluma got
I was
banned
just about to say.
because Opus 9 we got Lucretius right after.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucretius, like a lot of people are like, that would be really, really good with Dottaluma because you could just fetch back Cactars. Like it's very easy to interact with, and it just makes Dottaluma better. And if we get something next set or even set after next that would have made Keto even better, like, I'm not gonna I'm definitely not gonna complain about having Ghido banned.
Right.
If it lets them, the thing is, if Ghido is restricting their design space, I'd rather them ban Ghido and have more design space than design around Ghido.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know how I feel about that in particular. I don't have a lot to say about it because I wasn't heavily invested in this one. You're the Weewa
Mm,
player, not me.
yeah.
Um, and I mean, we brainstormed when the card first, when Barley came out and all that, and we looked at all these different ways to get him on the field easily. And boy, howdy, do we find a bunch.
Mm,
Everybody else found him too, apparently.
yeah.
So,
I'm,
like,
I mean, online it was doing pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It certainly was. I saw deck profile after deck profile for that, ninjas, samurai. The list goes on of what's meta right now. It's a lot of the same stuff from last set, but yeah. I mean, I just think it's sad overall. Like, it's funny. Don't get me wrong. Like, I laugh about it, but it's also a little sad that like this didn't even get a chance to go through that many tournaments before they're just like, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. Like, get the hook, get the hook.
Mhm.
um, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know what else I can add that wouldn't just be redundant at this point.
Yeah. Um, I'm a little sad because I enjoyed playing it, but I'm not gonna be too like upset about it. Like, I think it was a deserved ban, honestly.
Yeah, I'm teetering on the edge of being like, you know what, this one's okay.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I put it kind of close to the like, um, it's kind of like the Riku ban in a way, where it's like, obviously it's strong. It's obviously strong, but is it that strong to be banned? Especially when we have things like Marsh Ritz. And just these other combos that we've seen coming out, the Shikaris, the Infinite, like all that
yep.
stuff. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the thing that makes it good is that it's a 2-card combo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is like looking at Gesper and Thaumaturge, like those cards are just good by themselves. And Dodaluma Cactuar was a 2-card combo as well
Yeah.
that could be stacked upon. We have a lot of examples of that, which is why I don't know, I'm not too beat up about it. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly I said my thing about like design space, and I'm 100% behind that. If
Mm-hmm.
they have more design space going forward, and if Ghido was a speed bump for that, then get rid of Ghido. I mean, still at the end of the day, we have 6 banned cards now.
Yeah.
5,
It's 5.
6,
This makes 5
5, 5,
because we
5, 5.
currently have in order of it
Thaumaturge,
happening, Thom
Gesper.
and Gesper, Dodaluma, Riku, and now Ghido.
Yes, yes.
So
Um, and then I'll touch down on it really quick. Neo XF got banned in title, but isn't
yes.
banned everywhere else. I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that.
Oh
I think
yeah,
people freak
same.
out about him too much. I know he's not a fun card, but he's not a overwhelmingly strong card. Um, and it's also flavor that Ghido gets banned, but Neo XF is fine. So it's
Yeah,
it's actually a lot of flavor, surprisingly.
that's. Do you want to explain that one for me real quick?
Basically, Ghido is like the last line of defense from stopping X-Death from becoming like ever powerful in a new world and taking over everything, and X-Death kills him.
Yeah, okay, that's flavor, all right.
Yeah, he gets weakened by Ghido, which is like the title ban,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's super flavor, which I think is so funny.
right. Well, so what's funny is I'm actually very okay with bans in any non-standard format of the game because they're primarily designing the game around standard.
Mhm.
Um, Everything else is secondary or even auxiliary,
Yeah,
any form of thereof. So like them being like, well, we designed this for the regular game. If it breaks this other format, we have to do something about that because the game won't be healthy in that format if we don't. Like, as long as it's okay in the standard, standard's fine. But these other formats that are secondary, they won't survive as well if they're not dealt with. So banning that one along with Jesse, and I could swear there was one other card banned in title.
yeah.
But
Felthanos. Yeah, it's Felthanos.
is it really? Okay.
Yeah, because title just doesn't have a lot of answers to him.
I mean that's fair. I'm not going to question
Yeah,
it. I just didn't know that was really it. Um,
yeah.
so yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's a fine ban.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess we're in agreement on that one. Which is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, like it's title.
Yeah, it's title.
Like, I'm more so happy about it just because of the really dumb, like, fourth wall breaking flavor. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's funny to me, but I don't know. At the same time, like I said, we even had an episode where we were talking about like, is this too overpowered? And I remember we were kind of on the fence for it. Largely, we were like, it's kind of like Dodaluma Cactuar, where
Mm-hmm.
it's really really good. I don't know about game breaking, but it's good. Um, and I still kind of, and I still kind of feel that way. I don't know if it was game breaking. It definitely was some meta decks, but it wasn't exactly tier 0. But at the same time, it was still really, really good.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, so Ty, unless you have any final thoughts, I'm about ready to wrap up if you are.
No, I'm good. I've said my piece.
Okay, cool. Well, in that case, this concludes our emergency news flash episode. We'll be back to regularly scheduled content soon. We'll be
We
popping
have a
out
bunch of
our.
stuff in the wings for you.
We do actually. I'm still editing a bunch of stuff this week. We're also going to be recording a couple this week, at least with one guest. Hopefully a second with another guest at a later date. Still in the works. We'll see.
Yeah.
So thanks you guys for watching, and we'll catch you later.
Bye. Peace.